Hi everyone, it's Heidi from flutterbyheidi.co.uk and here's another of our lovely Sweet as a Peach suite project. So this is a lovely suite that comes with a stamp set and coordinating dies. You've got some lovely DSP that goes with it as well, along with some dinky set of 6 little mini jam jars as well when you buy the suite bundle. So bundle of stamp and dies as always gets the 10% discount, always worth considering. And these are the papers that come in the suite bundle. So lovely peach, floral and peach images on the one side, and then an all over pattern on the reverse. 12 by 12 sheets, and they have things like balmy blue in them, pear pizzazz, calypso coral, pale papaya, early espresso is the kind of brown that you've got in there, a bit of mango melody, and a bit of bumblebee as well, and then pear pizzazz, going through almost to sort of old olive colours as well. So yeah, some super colours, and lovely stamp set, one of the distinctive ones, so it creates texture when you stamp it. And I just thought it'd be really fun to just create a little gift bag with a turnover top, as you can see here. And I've used some of our lovely sheer ribbon that comes in all of the in colours. So this one is the pale papaya, you can see here, but obviously it comes in all of the different new in colours as well. And this little bag is just big enough, well, it's plenty big enough actually, to add a little to Tic Tacs, which I thought went really well with the To a Sweet Friend sentiment that you've got there. Just a little sort of, you know, table gift, something to pop in with anything that you might be popping in the post to somebody, just as a little bit of fun. And the ribbon just sits over the top there, and by tying it tight it just holds it in place. So that's what we're making. So I thought with the peaches, I thought I'd play around with some of the colours. So this is the kind of petal pink calypso coral, but you can see I've gone sort of yellows with some so saffron, petal pink and a bit of bumblebee, pale papaya, but a bit of pumpkin pie. So you can really get lots of different images by playing around with the colours that are in the suite. So this one is so saffron and petal pink. Petal pink doesn't really sort of come through. Petal pink and pale papaya, and I thought I'd go for the mango melody and calypso coral one that I've got there, because I thought I'd use this paper here and it would just make it sort of stand out a little bit against those. And I'm going to use pear pizzazz as well. As always, we're using a photopolymer stamp set, so use that Stampin' Pierce mat to get that really good image, and a bit of scrap paper as well. So ink up well in Mango Melody, so I've got all tap tap tap, stamp off, and then you'll see you get that lovely detail there. So to get the shading on it, what I actually did was I inked up first with my Mango Melody and then stamped off. Then I came in with my Calypso Coral Dauber afterwards. I found when I stamped off, having inked it, it just didn't show up well enough. It kind of lost it. But now I've got lovely Calypso Coral all over me. Quick huff. And then you've got that lovely sort of, you can see this pink coming through, and the lovely Mango Melody orange tones behind. Next we want to stamp our leaves in pear pizzazz. I've possibly left that a little bit close to the bottom for my die, but let's see how we go. And then I've already die cut one of my little strips, and these are perfectly sized for the sentiments that are in the stamp set that go with them. So, you know, hope your day is as sweet as a peach. It's your day. You're as sweet as a peach. So lots of different variations, and by supplying them already cut apart, you can mix and match to your heart's content. People, I rarely do stamp surgery, but I do occasionally. That's probably not as straight as it might have been, but hey, there we go. When you're doing that yourself, I would always say stand right over, and you'll find it really easy to get it lined up. Okay. So clear the decks of the inky things, and let's get some die cutting done. So really easy to pop through on your die cutting machine here. I'm just using my mini cut and emboss to pop those through, and I keep my dies with these ones inside my stamp set on a piece of magnetic sheet, and I draw around with a chalk marker, which just helps keep them in place, and for me to see that I've, at the end of a crafting session, that I have everything back in place. Otherwise, you know, you end up with potentially misplacing dies. Then all of a sudden you end up, you know, you find one sort of later and kind of go, well, which set was that out of? Or even worse, you don't find it and you end up having to go through the bin, or you don't realise. So I'm just rolling those through. I've used a bit of post-it note tape to hold those in place to stop them moving. I find I tend to do that particularly when I'm putting more than one die through. There we go. And the post-it note tape, I find, doesn't leave any residue and just peels off really, really easily, so that I've always got a nice image at the end of it. So that's going to be my losing my words. That's going to be my peach. I'm going to glue that together now, so that by the time I come to use it, it's all nice and stuck. I've just used a bit of Tombow in a fine tip bottle dispenser there. And by just adding the glue to that bottom, it just fits on really well. You can see there, you're just using that very bottom bit of the stalk and the leaf. So pop that to one side along with my sentiment, and let's get on with our little pouch. So you want a piece that is either 6 by 6 or 15 by 15 centimetres. I'm going to work in centimetres, but I will give you the inch measurements as I go along. So that is just about, yeah, near enough. Okay, so what you want to do is you're going to score. This pattern doesn't matter because it's it's an all over pattern, which I would recommend for something like this. It doesn't matter if you want to do something different though. So what you want to do is score at 2.5, 7, 9.5 and 14. And if you were using a directional pattern, you would do that and make sure that that was top to bottom. And then put the top to the right in that sense, and then score again at 2.5, at 11.5, at 13 and 14. So when you're doing your scoring, you want your top on the right hand side. So if you do as I did and flip it, you just need to make sure you did that the other way. But basically this top bit on the right here is your top of your bag. And then just reinforce those with just by folding those over. And that last one is your little is your join. So this bottom section is where it makes the base of your bag, and the top where we've got those two score lines, that's going to fold back on itself. So that just adds a little bit of interest, and it works particularly well with this one where it's a really nice contrast with the green. So we're going to take the bottom of the bag and snip up that little teeny tiny rectangle and snip up on the others, like so. And keeping that folded over, we're then going to join it at the side. So just make sure that that's lined up. And what I would do is, because we're joining on this bit, I'm going to tuck that part inside so you still get that top. So what I like to do is just make sure that that lines up, and if it doesn't, you're going to have a tiny bit of overlap, as you can see here. So I'm just going to take off the tiniest little just snippet on that edge, just to help that a little bit. Down here, whatever glue happens to work for you. Seal Plus obviously is great. Wet glue is also fine as well. And just remember that you're putting something inside, so you want to go up and into this overlap. So that goes in like so. And that's going to make our little bag. And the bottom is really easy. So you're going to want that join towards the back, that seam there. So that's going to be your back. So I'm just going to add the glue to the bit that folds over at the front. So seam at the back, and that way you get the front flap becomes your fold. And then I'm just going to pinch that together at the top. Pinch it there, and it makes almost like a little box top at the top there. Grab your pack of Tic Tacs. My extra one is hiding. Dum, dum, dum. Here we go. So I know they come in different sizes. Probably worth me mentioning what size. So these are about just under about 1.5 inches long, by about sort of 2.5 inches high, to give you an idea of that. And then with the ribbon, cut yourself a decent length. So let me tell you, so that probably is about 12 inches, slightly more. Oh no, it's about 18 inches of ribbon. And coming in from the back, what I would say is, if you grab yourself a glue dot, so I've slid the one on, the one I was doing, so I could take it off. But if you come in, a glue dot will just make it much easier for you. So just create a knot. If you want to do a surgeon's knot, so put that extra loop in, that'll just help keep it tight. Left over right, right over left, those of you who are in the guides, get those knots in place. And then if you need to, you can just centre that. So once you've tied a knot, then you can come in and create your bow. And you'll find that much easier than trying to do it separately or without tying a knot first. And then just keep manipulating that until it's in the right place. Pull down that one. Then what I do is I tend to grab the tails, grab the bows, and pull them in opposite directions to get our nice little bow. And then all that needs to happen now is to add our peach on. So pop that onto a couple of dimensionals. Just got some mini ones here. So I'm going to just put sort of a couple of mini dimensionals, 3 mini dimensionals say, down the centre of that. And by curving your peach round, your peach then sort of sits really nicely and looks more realistic. And then just add to a sweet friend across there, either on a dimensional, so you can curve that with your bone folder if you want to get a nice smooth curve. Like so. And there we have a couple of pretty treat pouches, jewellery bags, you know, anything at all, but just very quick and easy to make with just 6x6 of DSP. You can get 4 bags. Imagine how many, 48 bags out of one pack of designer series paper. Bargain. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to purchase any of the items, please pop along to my blog and follow the links there, or click on the description, the down arrow on the description box, and you'll find all of the items listed there, and you can click on them there. Come back and see me again soon. Bye now.